Hey guys, we're looking at metric relations, and the reason that we know we're dealing with metric relations is we've got this great big right angle triangle here, and then we've got another line segment coming from the 90, creating a 90 on the hypotenuse of the big triangle, and that's always going to allow us to set up these really special rules known as metric relations. And the first step always is to label all of our sides. So the way we do that is always to label the A and the B and the C of the large triangle first, the outside triangle. So we know that the hypotenuse is always opposite the 90, and each of its legs are A and B respectively. It doesn't matter which one we call which. Obviously the C matters, so that's your C right up there. And by C I'm talking about the whole thing. And then A and B doesn't really matter. I'll call that one A, and I'll call that one B right over there. So once you've labeled your A, your B, and your C, you also know that you can label the H really easily. The H is the height of that larger outside triangle, and it's that line segment that connects the two 90-degree angles always. And now I've got to label my my D and my E, and which one goes with which. Well, remember that A is always paired with D, so I'll put the D there. You can see it's closest to that one. And the E is always in the triangle associated with the B. E goes with B, like bacon and eggs. So it's closest to that side. Now that the triangle is labeled fully, we're close to being able to start selecting some rules to answer the question. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we've identified all this information on the left here that we know. On a test, they're not going to give you this box and they're not going to give you this box. These have to be on your memory aid with a picture of that kind of a triangle there, so you remember to set it up like this, and you'll be able to solve it every single time. And we're looking for the missing side length, right? We're looking for this, what I've labeled as B, so that's the one I'm going to put the question mark next to. And I'm going to be looking for, as soon as possible, for a rule that contains a B in it where I have the other two known variables, and I can go ahead and solve. I can't put in what I don't have, so I can't label an A, but I know that the D is 5. And I know that my H is 8. So I've labeled what I know. I've labeled what I'm looking for. And right away, I'm just going to have a very quick look. Is there a rule here that has a B, a D, and an H in it? And I don't think there is. If you look here, you won't see one. So obviously, I have some work to do. So the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to start circling all the rules that contain a D. So that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rules that have D's, and we know that we've got to pick a rule that is going to use that D and that H to start finding other things. I'm now going to circle all the ones that contain H's. So there's no H here, there's no H here, got an H here. And you can see right away that those two are going to allow me to get that guy right over there. I'll be able to get that E afterwards. But let me just finish circling my H's in case there's something else that I can do. Nope. Nope. Oh, look at that. With that H, I can go ahead and get an A. So we'll see if that helps us, and there's an H down here. So it doesn't really matter which of these two we choose to do. I'm going to do the first one since that's the one that was ready. It says H squared is equal to D times E, and that's going to allow me to find my E. So H squared is equal to E times D. And I know that my H is 8, so I'm going to go 8 squared is equal to E, I don't know, times D, which is 5, or 8 squared is equal to 5e. 8 squared is 64, don't need my calculator for that one, trust me, is equal to 5e, and now I'm going to go 64 divided by 5 to get my e. 12.8. 12.8 is my e. So I'm going to come back up in here, put in my 12.8, come back over here, start circling e's. And you have to remember what it is that I'm looking for. And you can see right away now I'm able to find my B. And the reason I can find my B is I've got that E and I've got that H. Now, if I didn't notice that, I could keep solving. You'll notice I can get C over here. And once I have C, I could go ahead and get the B that way from this rule up here. But since I've got this, what the heck, right? B squared is equal to E squared plus H squared. B squared is equal to E squared plus H squared. And that's the one we're looking for. So B squared is equal to E squared plus H squared. And I know I'm looking for the B. I got an E of 12.8 plus an H of 8. Don't forget your squareds. B squared is equal to 12.8 squared is, let's keep all those decimals to keep our answer accurate, 163.84 plus 64. I'm going to add 64 to that. It's going to give me 227.84, so B squared is equal to 227.84. And now what do I do with that number? Well, I have to take the square root of it because I have B squared and I need B. So I'm going to go square root of 227.84, hit my equals, and I'm going to get 15.09. We'll call that 15.1 if we're rounding it to the nearest tenth. And that is how we employ metric relations. Remember the steps? Very important you label your triangle properly. Your A, your B, your C. Remember, E goes in the same triangle as the B, D goes in the same triangle as the A, and the H is always the height of that big triangle. Once you've got that, put the information you know in with your letters, A, B, C, D, E, and H. You have to write that box from your memory aid, and you have to write the box with all the rules on your memory aid as well, and then start circling as you go until you're able to come right down to your final answer. And that, as I said, is all she wrote.